Explicit sexual material, any pictorial, three-dimensional, or visual depiction, including any
photograph, film, video, picture, or computer-generated image showing
human masturbation, deviant sexual intercourse as defined in
Section 566.010.
Sexual intercourse, direct physical stimulation of genitals, sadomasochistic abuse,
or emphasizing the depiction of post-pubertal human genitals, provided, however, the works of art,
when taken as a whole, that have serious artistic significance or works of anthropological significance,
or materials used in science courses, including but not limited to
materials used in biology,
anatomy, physiology,
sex education classes,
shall not be deemed to be within the
foregoing definition.
The bill I sponsored, SB775, the Survivors' Bill of Rights, was the product of many stakeholders coming together to codify best practices for after a sexual assault. The stakeholders included law enforcement, prosecutors, hospital personnel, survivors, legislators, and more, people who serve the survivor after the horrendous crime of sexual assault has been committed. Our goal was to make a daunting justice process more effective, consistent, and survivor-centered. It was always my preference, along with Senator Reeder, to keep this important piece of public policy clean, unamended by other policies through the legislative process. Unfortunately, legislative extremists had other ideas and willfully hijacked a good bill to add language calling out pornography in school literature. From my perspective, this political hijacking was designed for two purposes: to undermine an important piece of legislation that disparate groups had come together to promote, and to begin the formal process of book banning in Missouri, the latest hot topic of the extremist attack on schools and literature. Through lengthy negotiations, we were able to make changes to this unfriendly amendment, rendering it more palatable. It was untenable. In the negotiated and passed version of the language, there is no reference to books, but rather explicit sexual material, any pictorial, three-dimensional, or visual depiction, including any photography, film, video, picture, or computer-generated image. And furthermore, visual works that are considered artistic or informational in nature are exempt from the law. I believe there are no books that should be banned as a result of this bill passing, and yet I also understand the chilling effect these policies have as districts and their librarians feel concerned about staying within the law. The extremists in this legislature would not back down from their insistence that a bill pass. We fought hard to negotiate and move to the new, significantly modified language that had started off as a full-on ban on books. Now we hope to see courage abound within our schools as we work to make age-appropriate books available to our children and stop the slippery slope of censorship.
A new Missouri law bans books with sexually explicit materials from K through 12 schools.
Schools across the area taking certain books off of the shelves. It's all to make sure they're in line with the new Missouri law that will soon make it a crime to share certain explicit material.
Republican Senator Rick Bratton created this amendment and shares,
"It's going to be an all-hands-on-deck approach."
The amendment would make it a crime if anyone provides visually explicit sexual material to a student.
And PEN America, a free speech advocacy group, reports that since January 2021, 174 education-focused legislative bills were introduced in 40 states that target content in a variety of ways. 162 of those target K through 12 education.
This law does have one caveat that keeps it from impacting a larger number of books, and that's that it only bans sexually explicit images. That means that books that have some risky text won't be affected.
Things that are just depicting people's life experiences, which is what's really problematic. If you remove those things from a school library or a public library, you're robbing people of the opportunity to see their experiences reflected.
Around the country, efforts to ban specific books or even whole categories of books are on the rise.
These teenagers in York, Pennsylvania are standing up to the latest example of controversy surrounding history and race that is affecting a growing number of America's public schools.
The director just resigned.
Do you feel that you've given in? That you've been defeated here? That
part of me does, yes. But they start showing up at your house, guns on their hips and Bible tracts in their hands.
Activists demanding that the library ban more than 400 books, like genderqueer.
It's an intensification, far more book bans sprouting up all over the country than we ever saw before.
Nobody should be limited to knowledge, and I think that's kind of limiting opinions, which I think is
not really the First Amendment.
If we're gonna ban books about like how families are and how different people are, then we should ban all books about history. Basically shutting out kids from learning about other people in the world in the United States. Some of the books are just saying like some kids have 2 moms and some kids have 2 dads. And personally, I don't find a problem with people saying that at all.
Although anyone can file a report or complaint, only a local prosecutor can enforce the law.